There's literally no reason for the alphabet to be in order. So let's be real, the world now is really kinda interesting. If you take a step back and activate your mind, everyone always takes things so serious. So it's good to relax and consider the really weird thoughts that some of us have. Like, we spend our entire lives gathering guests for our funeral. And speaking of dead people, why don't murderers just hide their bodies in the cemetery? And can a cow sweat? Like, think about that. Also, popcorn is a vegetable, so next time your parents make you eat vegetables, just eat popcorn. And why is the human population growing, even though for every person alive today, there's about 15 dead people throughout all of human history? Enough about dead people. Why is there a D in fridge, but not in refrigerator? And why does terrible and terrific mean opposite things when horrible and horrific mean the same? By the way, you normally breathe and blink on autopilot, but now since I mentioned it, you're doing both of them manually. Sorry. Also, your tongue is probably touching the top of your mouth right now, but no matter where you put it, it just doesn't feel comfortable. These are shower thoughts. If everyone on the planet blinked at the exact same time, nobody would know that it happened. And it just so happens that we have our eyes to see, have a nose to smell, have ears to hear, and hands to feel, and a mouth to taste. What if there are other senses we just can't understand because we don't have the means to? We are just not evolved enough to need them or use them. Like, if we colonize Mars in the future, will humans then be evolved enough to have different senses than we do today? On the note of evolution, the voice inside your head has evolved with you over time. Like, do you remember what voice you spoke with when you were younger? Have you ever seen a crane being built? Like, they sort of just show up out of nowhere and then randomly disappear. If you don't pay your taxes, you will get thrown in jail. But jails are usually funded with taxpayer money. So if you go to jail for tax evasion, you're living off of taxes because you didn't pay taxes. Now I'm confused. Taxes are like a subscription for you to your country that you can't cancel, even if you don't like the service. We live in a society with a bunch of made rules that everyone should follow in order to keep order. Some of these rules are kind of funny. For example, parking tickets are just speeding tickets for going 0 miles per hour where it isn't allowed. And we have cars that can go up to 200 miles an hour, but there's almost nowhere where you're legally allowed to go that fast in them. I feel like we could just be characters in a universe-sized video game, and sleeping could be like a save point, which is why we don't really know what happens between the second we fall asleep and when we wake up. We trust our bodies enough to just go unconscious and continue breathing so we don't die. On that note, alarm clocks are made for the sole purpose of being annoying, enough to shake humans into consciousness. If you want to break it and smash it to pieces, don't. Because every analog clock that no longer works actually shows the time on it when it died. Hey, did you know that 2 people can be born at the exact same time, but because of time zones, they have different birthdays or even be born in different years? Every single second, the Earth is moving in a new position in space that it has never been in before, and will probably never be in or return to again, ever. Why do women pants have fake pockets, but baby pants have real pockets? Antarctica is probably the smartest and most educated continent on Earth, considering that the entire population is almost exclusively covered by scientists. The brain is the only organ that knows it's actually an organ. And on top of that, it actually named itself. Such a weirdo. Wanna know something interesting? One day in the future, someone will be the very last person to die of cancer. You will never find the exact moment you fall asleep, unless you're creepy and you have a camera watching you sleep. Weirdo. Who's gonna bury the last person alive? Baby certificates are just baby receipts, really. Cool. And in about 100 years, there will be millions of inactive social media accounts. But not mine, of course. Surgery is literally stabbing someone to keep them alive. And speaking about being alive, does poison get more poisonous after it expires? Can someone tell me what color a mirror is, please? Someone could literally be screaming for help right now, but nobody is near to hear it. R.I.P. The world sucks right now, but notice that everything started going downhill after we decided to raid Area 51. When we yawn, do deaf people think we are yelling? Oh, FYI, our skin is waterproof. Go Aquaman. On the topic of powers, someone could have the power to freeze time, and we would never notice it. Q is the only word that sounds the same when the last 4 letters are removed. Ghosts aren't very effective against blind people. IDK could also be I do know. In the time it takes to read the sentence, 50,000 skin cells have died and been replaced. Dying of old age is dying of not dying. And all body parts on the dark web are secondhand. Pause. We are closer to 2050 than to 1990. Time goes fast, doesn't it? If you pick up a fossil, you could literally be holding up your ancestor. Wow. We don't buy water, we rent it. And you get presents for just existing. The phrase takeout can be delicious, deadly, romantic, or all of the above. If your pets became human, would they have a good or bad personality? And literally, what does God do in his spare time? If you think about it, cereal companies are almost completely dependent on milk companies. Side question, milk first, then cereal, or cereal then milk? Comment down below. Also, where's the sanitizer that kills the other 1% of germs? Like 99.99 is not nearly enough. And you probably tried to think of nothing. Try now, I dare you.